I think it's okay to tell somebody that you're concerned. You know, if you have seen things that are happening and this is somebody who is your friend, your family, someone that you care about and respect, I think it's okay to tell somebody, hey, I saw this, you know, with your specific example if you can, and it concerns me, you know, and here's why. I feel like it was very controlling, or I feel like it was very disrespectful or mean or whatever. And so I just want to let you know I'm concerned. And if you need someone to talk to, I'm here. A lot of people don't want to talk about it. So if you try and force someone to talk about it, a lot of times they won't. And then that isolation piece can come into it, where if this person's not ready to talk about it and they feel like you are forcing the issue, they're probably just going to back away from you. A lot of times people want to give people ultimatums, like it's your partner or me. And usually that's not very effective either, because that's obviously going to make somebody feel defensive. And a lot of times they're going to pick their partner.
Right.
And so then they've lost you as a support.
And they don't want to be told what to do.
Exactly.
They want to make their own choices.
Right, exactly. Especially if this is somebody who hasn't really been able to make their own choices.
Right.
And that's the issue. And now they're getting it from you as well.
Okay.
It's obviously not going to be comfortable. So, you know, be supportive, be patient. Let this person know, you know, don't say you need to leave him or her, you need to get out of this situation, but just say, you know, if you're feeling like this might not be a good situation, I'm here to help you however I can. I'm here to talk to you. I support you in whatever decisions they make. A lot of times people want to kind of like criticize that abusive partner. You know, he or she doesn't deserve you, or they're this or that. Most likely that's just going to make that person feel the need to defend their partner, right? Especially if they're in denial, if they're embarrassed, if they're ashamed, if they're hoping they can make things better, if they're just not ready to admit it to themselves or you or anyone else, they're going to defend that person. So criticizing the partner isn't always the most effective tactic. So I would say, you know, just let them know that you're there, that you care, that you don't judge them, that they do deserve to be treated well, and that, you know, that there's help out there from you and from whoever else, and you'll help them get help.
I was thinking if you could tell a little bit more about why people stay in an abusive relationship, because when you look at it from the outside, you might think, well, it's obvious that this person shouldn't be in that relationship, but it's never that easy when you're in that situation, is it?
Right, sure. And I mean, it's a complicated situation. I think leaving a relationship that's not abusive is difficult for people. And it doesn't make it easy just because it's an abusive situation. In fact, a lot of times it makes it more complicated.
Right.
You know, I think probably the number one reason I've heard is fear. You know, these people are afraid that if they leave, things might get worse. And a lot of times this is brought on by this person threatening that if you leave me, I will do this. If you leave me, this will happen. And it's not always idle threats. A lot of times things do get worse or progress once that woman tries to leave. Or I'm sorry, woman or man. Another thing that's really common is, you know, depending on this person for money. And if there's that financial abuse going on, that's a real possibility that if this person is to leave this relationship, they may have to start at zero with nothing. You know, no money, no job, no place to live. There's shelters, but a lot of people don't want to stay in a shelter. A lot of times there aren't beds available in the shelter. And especially if this person has been isolated from their friends and family, they may not have anyone else to turn to for help. If they have kids together, obviously that's going to be an issue. A lot of people are afraid to parent on their own. You know, they might feel pressured to make it work, either from sometimes family, you know, like we were saying, your family can definitely support you in getting out of the situation, but some people's families do not. And they believe in the sanctity of marriage or whatever it is. You know, it's your job to make it work. And so they don't want you to leave. You know, like I said before, people are denying it. They're ashamed. They're embarrassed. They don't want to admit that this is going on. They probably hope that it's going to get better. A lot of people that I have worked with have described that they still love this person despite everything that's gone on. You know, they have a history together. If they have kids together, you know, they're attached. They have an emotional attachment to this person, even though the relationship is so unhealthy. I think, too, there's sort of this concept that people that stay in these relationships have low self-esteem. You know, well, if she was more confident, she would get out. Or I've even heard people say, well, a woman who stays in an abusive relationship must like it in some way or else she would leave. I have worked with a lot of domestic survivors. Not one of them have told me that they liked it. Mm-hmm. There may be somebody out there. I have not met them. And I think that after being in a relationship like this, your self-esteem does start to suffer, but I don't think that's what gets people involved in it in the first place.
Right.
You know, a lot of the women that I've worked with are very strong, smart, confident, independent women who will... one thing I hear from people all the time is, if you would have told me a year ago, 2 years ago, whatever it is, that I would be in this situation, I would tell you, oh no, you don't know me then, because I would never put up with that, but now I find myself here. And so that's going to damage your self-esteem too, because you suddenly feel like you don't recognize yourself, you're letting this person control you, and then it's just so much easier to take advantage of that person once their self-esteem starts suffering.